Hey, what's up and welcome back to the channel. So what we're going to do is do another what I eat in the day as a vegan bodybuilder. All right, so I'm going to show you how I'm able to build some massive muscle and get that ripped six-pack. When it comes to the foods, a lot of people definitely feel that when you're on a whole foods plant-based diet, you can't get a lot of protein. It's extremely hard and it's unhealthy, it's malnourished to get that perfect physique. But guess what? I've been vegan for over a decade, exactly 12 years, and it's very simple. I'm just going to show you some of the meals that I actually consume to get great results as well, optimal blood work. Now, the first thing we're going to start off is with our breakfast. So let's look inside that fridge. It looks like there's nothing to eat. So that means we have to go grocery shopping. Let's go. All right, so we're here at one of my favorite grocery stores, Whole Foods. So we're going to go ahead and pick up some items, especially for breakfast and for meal prepping for the rest of the next 2 weeks, okay? So let's go ahead and go inside and start grabbing some food. Okay, so the first thing I like to do when shopping is focus more on whole foods. So I usually shop right here in the produce section. The reason is because this is where I'm going to get all my dietary fiber, my vitamins, my minerals. This is what's going to really increase my overall health and wellness, okay? Now today, I'm eating about 2,800 calories, okay? When it comes to my macronutrients, I'm getting about 200 grams of protein, 380 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. So that means I'm able to eat a lot of food today, which is great. So I'm not gonna be shy on the foods that I'm buying. So let me go ahead and grab some healthy foods and let's go. So I'm gonna start off with some baby spinach. And the reason I like the baby spinach is because it's a great source of vitamin A. Vitamin A is really good for your skin. So if you want to look nice and sexy, you know, get some vitamin A in you. If you're afraid about oxalates and afraid with spinach, you have to be asking the right questions. Number one, they wouldn't be selling it in the grocery store, okay? If that was the issue. People are not getting kidney stones from eating spinach. And if they are, it's people that already had like issues with their kidneys, or they're just consuming like literally a box of these a day, every single day for their primary source of food, which can happen. And if you're still afraid of that, you can always break that down by just cooking the spinach anyways. All right, so the holiday season is here, so definitely gonna pick up some pumpkin spice cinnamon rolls, okay? Definitely have to have this for some breakfast. The next thing is gonna be the Khalifa holiday nog. So definitely gonna take advantage of this because now we can make some eggnog pancakes. I saw some great news right now. They're doing a sale for the chorizo seitan. So you see this section is empty. If you check out my cart, I definitely took advantage of that. It's really rare seeing it at $4.85 here at Whole Foods. So I went ahead and wiped it out. So too bad for the other people that didn't come here first. All right, so as you can see, we got more than enough food for breakfast. The total came up to $227. This is enough food that's gonna last for a good 2 weeks, maybe even if I stretch it out, maybe like 2.5 weeks. I feel like it's a good bargain because when it comes to everything that I get, again, you saw everything, like the protein, the veggies, the fruit, and we're going to make some delicious food for today's video. So let's go home, start off with the first meal of the day. All right, so I'm back in the house and let's check out this fridge. This looks like a refrigerator that we can go ahead and start meal prepping, all right? So what I was thinking on the way home was to make some high protein eggnog pancakes. Now, as you can see right here, as I'm getting these foods out, and you see it in my fridge, like I have a lot of multiple things like spinach, you know, I have tons of bell peppers, tons of onions. I get multiple items like tofu, seitan, almost like in a bulk fashion, right? And the reason is because I do a lot of meal prepping. And when you do stuff like this makes cooking easier. It's actually a lot cheaper when you buy things in bulk. Little secret in Whole Foods, if you buy enough of the same product, they'll actually discount it and consider it as a container. So that's just a little secret for you to know. But this is one of the reasons why I do this, is because I'm usually eating the same meals every day, and then I might switch it up like every month or every 3 months. You know, it really depends on how I feel and what I want to eat. And it's the same thing that I do a lot with my clients when it comes to making their meal plans, I give them a grocery list so they can go ahead and bulk up on those meals. And then it's very easy and simple to hit their total caloric and macronutrient goals depending on their fitness goals overall, if that makes sense. We're going to make those pancakes, but we're also going to make a side of some tofu scramble as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab more ingredients. All right, so we got everything ready to go. Let's get into chef mode. Woo! All right, so let's go ahead and get cooking. Now, one of the hacks I like to share while I'm cooking everything is this right here. So when I'm prepping my breakfast, I like to chop foods and store it. So for example, since I'm only using half of this tofu, which is about 35 grams of protein, I'll take the other half, go ahead and pre-chop it up and put it in a meal prep container like this, because I know that I'm gonna have this tomorrow. So now I don't even have to chop that, and guess what? That saves some time. And as you can see, this is the same thing I do with onions. I'll pre-chop like a whole onion and then store it. One of the positive things about this is that, you know, when you first chop onions, that it starts making your eyes teary. So it's, from what I've read, it's like almost like a defense mechanism for that. But if you let the onion sit for at least 5 minutes, it actually increases the compounds and the nutrients if you let it sit than just cutting and throwing it straight into the pan. As you can see, I do the same thing with the foods I buy. I get things kind of almost like ready, like off the vine, pre-chopped, ready to go. So when I'm prepping my meals, it's really just throwing it together. And another example is with like the whole bell pepper. See, I just chop that up, and then I can have what I could go ahead and measure out my servings if needed while I'm preparing my meal. The only thing that I don't really prepare ahead of time is like the garlic. Now with the garlic, I do end up getting like the peeled one, right? As long as it's stored in like a sealed shut bag, it'll keep the garlic fresh. But again, it saves time. And then this is the only thing that I actually chop, because when you crush the garlic, as you can see that residue right here? It has natural oil to it. So I like to crush it, then chop, so you can get more flavor from the garlic itself versus getting garlic that's pre-chopped and then stored in oil, because that's processed oil. It's not natural oil from the garlic itself. So I just finished putting in my spinach. Another tip I like to add is when you have spinach like this in a big container, or open container, go ahead and take a napkin and place it in here, because this is going to really preserve the spinach a lot better. Because what happens is when it's in a big air container like this and you just store it into the fridge, it starts creating condensation. So you see the water on top right here, it starts creating a lot of that. And when the water starts hitting the vegetables, it's going to get the leaves very wet. And then after that, it's going to start to spoil, especially since it's organic. It can spoil very fast. These pancakes taste delicious. It's super soft, it's super sweet, and very high in protein. So when it comes to the macros, it looks like this, because I did put some creamy tofu scramble on the side. If you want the recipe for the tofu scramble and the pancake, just check out the shorts. We put them there, or the reels on Instagram. Let's start counting up the macros. So the application that I like to use is MyFitnessPal, as you saw in the grocery store. And we're just gonna go ahead and include all the ingredients and then go from there. So this is gonna be a very big breakfast. We're looking at about 82 grams of protein, about 40 grams of fat, and 119 grams of carbs. So with that said, knowing that this had a lot of fat, mostly from the tofu and the peanut butter, because tofu does have a little bit of fat in it, and then peanut butter is a fat source. That's what boosted up the fats, but that's okay. It's my high day. That just tells me that for lunch, I want to focus more on very clean, high carbohydrate foods. As you saw when I went into the grocery store, I picked up tons of fruits, right? So my next meal would be some cold pressed juice. I mean, that's going to be part of it to help get majority of my carbs in. But then also I'm going to try to arrange my meals where it's more like high protein. So I haven't decided what I wanted to make that yet. It could be like a protein and a pure vegetable meal with the juice to help keep it all clean and keep the fat low. Because when it comes to counting macros, and especially if you're freestyling, I always say the fats you want to kind of preserve the fats, especially if you're someone like myself who consumes mostly a high carb diet. You want to preserve your fats, because when it comes down down to, let's say if I decided to eat out, that 20 grams of fat will allow me to be able to eat out. Because again, when you're going out, it's very easy to find foods that's high in carbs and high in fats. And then looking at how many carbs I have left, I have about over 261 grams of carbs. So I still have a lot of room to play with. So again, that's why I want to make my next meal very high in carbs, pretty high in protein again, but very low in fat. So by dinner time, I have more options to choose from, if that makes sense. All right, so that breakfast was super delicious. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take the supplements that I usually take. So first I like to start off with 2,000 milligrams of Tribulus. I usually take 4,000 for the whole entire day, but I split it. I'll take 2 in the morning and then 2 in the evening. Then after that, everything else is pretty much from Clean Machine. So I use like the Clean Machine Cell Block 80. This actually helps with utilizing more free testosterone. And then we have the Ahiflower oil, which gives me my omega-3, 6, and 9s. This has good anti-inflammatory properties within it. And then my vitamin D3. And the reason I like using this one, because this in particularly is one of the first and only organic vegan D3, okay, made out of algae. So this is why I also do this. I usually take these particular supplements with my meals. It's best to take it with the meal. Now, with that said, the next thing is we're going to go ahead and get ready to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare my pre-workout concoction. Okay, so first thing we're going to use is the Clean Machine BCAAs. I like getting a lot of BCAAs into my system because this helps with building on some muscle. So I usually do about 4 scoops of this, okay? Now I know a lot of people usually do maybe 1 or 2, but listen, the more amino acids you have into your body, faster your body is going to be able to recover. Next thing I'm going to do is the Intense pre-workout. But since I've already been on, like this morning, I had like 2 cups of coffee. So I'm just going to do just 1 scoop just to give me a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a pump. And then we're going to use the Sun Warriors creatine. Creatines, I really love using this for working out because when it comes to creatine overall, it really helps with recovery, helps with strength, helps with physical performance. It's one of the best supplements that has one of the longest studies. It was the most studied supplement that is proven for it to work. And it actually works better for people who's vegan than people that actually consumes meat, unfortunately. Next is glutamine. So I do at least 1 scoop of that because this definitely helps with recovery. It helps with immunity, also digestive health and absorption of nutrients. And then the last one is going to be some citrulline. So citrulline actually helps with nitric oxide production. So it's going to really open up the blood vessels in the body, allowing more blood to flood into the muscles. So that means bigger pumps, better performance. Here's my concoction. I'm going to go ahead and just sip on this, go into the gym and get that workout in. Now, if you want a discount for majority of these products, like especially the Clean Machine products and the Sun Warrior products, just look into the description box and I'll have my discount link right there for you. All right, so now I'm in the gym and about to get started with my workout. But before I do, I always have to warm up. I'm at 39. I can't skip the warm-ups like I used to when I was in my early 20s. And I highly recommend anyone that's in their 20s, and you probably hear this all the time for older guys, yo, warm up. Get into a habit of warming up because throughout time, your body will start breaking down and you're gonna start feeling ache and pain. So for example, like with myself, obviously I've been doing bodybuilding for over a decade already, winning multiple shows, but it does create a lot of pounding into the body. One of the biggest issues that I've been dealing with so far is just a little bit of knee pain, all right? And then also some lower back pain. And this lower back pain started to happen once I started taking my job fully online, okay? And I stopped doing in-person coaching. And the reason is because now with my new job, it's more of a sedentary lifestyle. And because of that, I'm not as active, I'm not not on my feet as much. So it's one of the reasons why I got like a stand-up desk and, you know, little things to help with the back pain, but again, I'm not as active. But through the bodybuilding and just lifting weights and the constant dieting and bulking and really pushing your body to that limit, doing a 2.5 to 3 hours worth of training per day, my lower back really took a beating, especially from my previous show last year. Kind of worked out through the pain, and I was doing a lot of things to mask the pain. For example, I was doing more, if you notice like some videos that I've done in the past, I had like the belt and I was strapping my stomach a lot because I was trying to support my lower back. But this is one of the reasons why I took an off season, not just because I wanted to build more muscle and grow, but it's the time to like fix all the damages from the on season, especially when you're limited on calories and you're training aggressively hard. But with that said, I hired a coach, all right? His name's Alvin Gao. Highly recommend to follow him on YouTube or any type of social media platform. He's an amazing online physical therapist that specializes in lower back and joint pain. And the reason I got with him, because here's the thing. Even though I'm certified in corrective training and I'm a master fitness trainer, got a degree in exercise science, doesn't mean that I know everything. And I understand the importance of, number one, online coaching, because I don't have a lot of time. I'm very busy. I can't be driving down the streets of Miami, going to a physical therapist's office, spending an hour in the room. I need someone that can actually adapt their program to my lifestyle, and that lifestyle can adapt to my goals. I've been working with him for almost a month already, and I've already seen significant improvements in my lower back. I mean, there was times it was so bad, you guys. Like, even if I did a single leg RDL, it was painful. I mean, that's how bad. And now I can do RDLs. My movement, my mobility, the tightness in the lower back is completely gone. So I'm just going to show you like a few things that I've been doing that he actually made a program and customized it for myself to really help relieve a lot of that tightness, especially in the lower lumbar area where I was feeling significant amount of pain and tightness in. Right now, I'm doing these short-seated breathing, okay? And one of the things that he told me when it comes to mastering this is like controlling your breath, you know, inhaling from your nose and then a slow exhale from your mouth. And what I feel right now is like being in this position. It looks a little weird, but I feel a lot of like the tightness right here in the lower back. Like literally the muscles are getting stretched. When I first was doing this workout, man, it was so painful. But now like I feel like less pain and more relief by doing this. I'm just getting better and better. So definitely recommend doing these exercises if you have lower back pain, man. It's really good. I love it. All right, so we just finished the workout, and here's the thing. I'm actually still full from that big old breakfast, I want to be honest with you, but I want to make sure I get all these calories in. It's already like 4 in the evening. I'm already kind of running behind. So one thing that I can do to help get clean carbs, remember, I want to try to keep the carbs in, try to get some protein and keep my fats low, is making a cold pressed juice. Some of the benefits of this juice that I'm about to make is a vitamin C booster. Also as well, it's going to help with inflammation, give me energy since I just finished working out, and also replenish my glycogen levels. So if you ever worked out and you just feel dog tired, you're just like, man, and you want to go to sleep, but guess what? You can't because you have the rest of the day to attack and charge, then get yourself some juice. Let's go ahead and make some. Forgot, we need to get into our chef form. Woo. Let's go. All right, y'all, so just finished making my cold pressed juice. So as you saw, there's tons of ingredients in here. We got the true sea moss in there to add all those essential minerals that's really good for the body. Also, we incorporated like apples, pineapple, turmeric. We got ginger in there, carrots. We got the grapefruits in there and pineapple. And this juice is so good. And this is a great way to get a lot of good carbs, like I said before, inside my macronutrients. And I use my FitnessPal to estimate like how much I use. So what I pretty much do is add all the fruits that I use together, and then I have to like do the math when it comes to breaking this apart for each jar, and then I break it down more into ounces. So I usually say like one serving is about 8 ounces, and then I have the macros. But we're going to lay down the macros. You don't have to worry about doing all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and lay down the estimated macros for that. But this is a great way to get a lot of my glycogen levels up and get a lot of healthy carbs into my body. And one of the things you want to do as well, this is what I learned from the cold press. They said definitely try to drink your juice once you finish juicing it, because that's when like the enzymes and all the minerals and stuff is at its freshest. So usually I try to you know, pound as much as I can. I usually do one whole entire jar by myself once I finish juicing, and then I'll go ahead and throw this in the fridge, and then I'll store it and be done with these bottles for about the next 2 or 3 days. Anything longer than a week, it's probably going to start getting bad, okay? Especially if you're like opening and closing and you're allowing a lot of air getting to the jar like this. If I was storing it like this, it'd probably get bad pretty fast. All right, so now it's time for the last meal of the day, and that's my brand new cheeseburger pizza. All right, so I got all the ingredients from grocery shopping that we did this morning, and obviously I had a little bit of ingredients in the fridge from the previous time I made the pizza, and this is going to be super high in protein. And I actually love making pizza at home because I can control the ingredients. I can add as much vegetables and fruits that I want, like bell pepper would be like the fruit, and then one of my main things is going to be that chorizo seitan. So I'm going to literally put this whole entire box on here, making it extremely high in protein so I can build some muscle mass. So according to MyFitnessPal, if I had 4 slices of this pizza, which this whole thing will become about 8 slices, that's going to help me hit all my total caloric and macronutrient. You don't have to be 100% correct on your macros as long as you're really close to hitting your goals. Let's go ahead and add in the toppings and put it into the oven since it's already warmed up. Also, if you want to see how I make this pizza step by step and you want all the ingredients and the macronutrients, go ahead and check out the shorts or check out my Instagram channel where I'll have that video for you. Here is the cheeseburger pizza. Look how beautiful this looks. Let's go ahead and try it out. It's delicious. And guess what? I'm able to have 4 slices of my homemade pizza, and this is amazing. Here's my macronutrients right here. So as you can see, like I said, I only have about 138 calories remaining when it comes to my meals. And then one of the things that I also do, because you might be thinking to yourself, like, you know, some of the foods that I ate was like fun food, some of it was unhealthy. Well, here's the thing. When I'm making all these meals at the end of the day, I really pay a lot of attention to the vitamins and minerals. So I always follow a hypernourishment protocol. If you see like my potassium, vitamin A levels, vitamin C, calcium, iron, they're all over exceeding how much I usually get. And this is good because it helps with overall health and wellness. And when it comes down to everything else, you can see like my sodium is in a good level as well. And also I'm hitting majority of my macronutrients, and my fiber, I'm getting about 40 grams of dietary fiber. And that's only because when it came down to majority of the nutrients, first, when I made that tofu scramble, that had tons of vegetables in it. So that's where I got majority of my vitamins and minerals. And then the pancakes was like fun to just get extra calories in. And then when it came down to the juice, boom, that's gonna really push tons of minerals into my body as well as vitamins. And then lastly, with the cheeseburger pizza, the seitan has a lot of iron and potassium in it already because it's made of wheat gluten. But then as well as the bread, I get some potassium, some iron from that as well. And then just a little bit of the veggies that I put on top of this pizza, it really helps with getting a lot of vitamins and minerals. So this is how I usually create meal plans for a lot of my students, especially if they have higher calories, they're trying to bulk, they're trying to build some muscle and reduce the body fat. This is a great way to find more balance and have sustainable results while doing it in the healthiest way possible, if that all makes sense, okay? But with that said, hopefully this video was helpful. If you want more what I eat in a day videos, and just go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and I'll make more videos for you. Peace.